Hello there. Welcome to me, my thinky thinks. All right, so we're everything is energy, right? We're all energy. Existence is just energy, energy from the sun. Okay, so there's two types of energy. We're gonna call one source energy, which is like energy from the source. Okay, like the sun, you know, um, vibrations, the ether, and then there's life force energy. Okay, so life force energy is internalized source energy. Okay, so it's kind of like what keeps me alive. If I stop eating, if I, when I eat food, okay, when I eat food, which is source energy in a substance, a food, I eat that, my body converts that to life force energy. Okay, so those are the two types of energies, right? And just as you have a body, you have a spirit, right? And your spirit is kind of like your energy. I mean, and depending on where your life force energy is at, your emotions are going to be expressed a certain way. Your thinking is going to be expressed in a certain way. If you're good feeling, you have a lot of energy, high vibrations. You're gonna have a lot of energy. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna feel good. You're gonna be positive. You're gonna think clear and quick. And if your vibrations are low, you're gonna have negative thoughts, negative feelings. You're not gonna think clearly, right? So, and depending on where you're at, generally, and kind of at the moment, that kind of reflects your spirit, right? Mm, you're now when we encounter other people, we leave an imprint on them, and they leave an imprint on us. Depending on how intimate of an exchange that is, there's going to be more of an imprint left. Okay, so like you go into a restaurant, and it just feels like there's maybe a couple over there in the corner, and they're talking very intensely, and they're probably arguing, and you can feel it, like it's like the whole atmosphere inside the restaurant. People are affected by their spirits of anger, their spirits of conflict, that energy, and it impresses upon everybody in the room. You go into the same restaurant a different day, people are happy, laughing, positive, having a good time. That impresses upon you, and you feel good. You're happy. You're laughing, right? So when we meet people, that energy is impressed upon us, right? So, and if we, like I said, if we meet people in a more intimate way, the energy impression that they carry with them is a greater. The impression is greater. Okay, so what this is getting to is, so in psychology, there's this concept of birth trauma. All right, so it's kind of weird. It's like we say that the first trauma is birth. It's warm, it's comfortable, and we have to leave, and we don't want to. So we're going to change that a little bit, and we're going to look at it from a slightly different perspective, and we're going to see that there's more to it, actually. So when you were made as a child, right, your parents supplied a donation, okay, a sperm and an egg, okay, a genetic donation, but also because they were supplying their life force, their energy, their spirit with their genetic material. That left an impression, boom, on you, right? So we're going to call that the initial traumatic imprint or initial energetic imprint, which is whatever the spirit that each of your parents were carrying at the time of conception that imprinted on their life force donation and that shapes that being, that person, energetically. Okay, so one time I met this guy, and he said this really interesting thing to me. He said, everybody has a question, and the answer to their question is a combination between the answers to their parents' questions. I thought about that. I said, that's pretty interesting. And it's also, they talk about that in the book, The Celestine Prophecy, right? So I thought, well, the most source that I was able to get with my parents was that my dad was guilty and my mom was honest. So a guilty person and an honest person make a baby, and that person's conflicted because he doesn't know what he is. So now, a guilty person is going to carry with him a sense of urgency, right? Because he probably broke the law, or he's going to get away with it, or something, And so he's always kind of thinking, moving, planning, scheming, and there's urgently. So my father's initial energetic impression on me at the time of my conception was urgency. Now, sometimes honesty can be like a prison. Sometimes it is. I mean, honesty is really good. It's like the best. It's admirable, right? But sometimes it's like it traps us. I got to tell the truth. I could lie. Nope, I got to tell the truth. So, and I'm not sure about the circumstances in my parents' life at this time, but the initial energetic impression of my mother at the time of my conception in the genetic and energetic donation for me was trapped. Okay. So I'm a conflicted person, and my initial energetic imprint was urgently trapped urgency. Okay. So a trapped person feeling urgency, that's a runner. They're going to run at the first opportunity. That's me. I'm a conflicted runner. So those 4 themes for me, conflicted, running, trapped, urgency, those have predominantly dictated and shaped the way I've dealt with crisis in my whole entire life. So I think that pretty much is my birth trauma. I think that for me, in illustrating this concept to everybody else, that's what it is. So why is this important? I don't know. Well, I guess when I discovered this was some insight that I'm going to use to help me to try to deal with my, okay, so let's go back to the restaurant, right? You go in the restaurant, it's really negative vibes in the restaurant, right? And it impresses upon you. The meal is terrible, and then it has the potential to shape your whole entire day to be negative, right? So it's like you got to kind of clear that energy. You have to clear yourself of that energy, maintain your sense of presence and sense of self and who you are, and then just go on, right? But we all get caught up in that. We all get caught up in this person's energy and that person's energy and this thing and that thing, and we're just like a vortex, we're like, so it's like, what do? Well, we got to clear the energy, right? So the way that I deal with conflict and handle it is these ways, and these ways have created a lot of karma for me in my life, and they've shaped my life. So I have to make these conscious decisions to clear this energy, right? My birth trauma, right? My initial energetic imprint, right? I got to consciously choose to clear this energy, right? So I have to face my conflicts and responsibilities, not run from them. I have to accept when we're at a standstill or there's a standstill in my conflicts. I have to wait patiently, and that's fine, not urgently. And remember that I am not trapped. I'm not trapped, and I can want things, and I can do things, and I am who I am, and sometimes I'm this way, and sometimes I'm that way. I don't have to be conflicted about who I am or conflicted with other people, right? So it's kind of interesting, you have to kind of choose. You have to choose those actions in response and hope that you can clear that energy and handle your conflicts in a better way. So another interesting thing, I don't know if I mentioned yet, but sometimes when we engage with people and they really violate us intimately, that creates huge energetic impression. That's like, this is like, it's called birth trauma, right? I'm calling it initial energy imprint. It's imprinted on you, and you have to remove that. You have to remove that imprint because that's not who you are. It shapes us our whole entire lives. It's like when people experience severe trauma and like violations on a physical level, that really imprints on a person's energy. And that's like an additional thing that a person has to work to clear. And that's really difficult, and it's really painful, and it's a lot of work. And so, some people got it harder, some people got it easier, but this is the thing, right? This is what I wanted to say. Life force attracts source energy, and source energy attracts life force. So when the sperm contacts the egg, boom, that thing's alive, right? It has a life force. It has a life force because it was donated from each parent. And then the mom feeds it, so she keeps it alive with her source energy. But as soon as that baby comes out, they just sleep all the time. Like, and they're kind of not, they're there, but they're kind of not really there for a while. And my thoughts is there's a flow of source energy, and the imprint on that child has shaped the way his life is going to be already. The genetic material, so yes, but mostly it's that energetic imprint from the parents. That's shaping that child. That source energy, it attracts. It attracts. So whatever the conditions are on that imprint on that child, it's going to attract that type of source energy. So if that imprint attracts, or if this source energy is attracted to like an imprint with a lot of heavy pain conditioning, that source energy is going to be able to handle that. It's going to be able to deal with that. It's attracted to it, right? It's life force attracts source energy, and source energy attracts life force energy. And then when we die, whatever energy we didn't clear, the life force energy expires from our body, returns to the source. It carries that energetic imprint with it, and it's going to find another baby. Because, like, they're not really alive until like 3 months, and so that source energy is kind of finding that life force. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, okay, cool. I think that worked. I hope it was clear. Here I drew a little picture. We'll go over it real quick. So you got your body. Everybody has a body, which is genetic material, and we have a spirit, which is your energy, emotions, and intellect. It's kind of your spirit. So then we got our energy. We got source energy, which is external, and then life force, which is internal. Okay. I drew a picture too of that. Life force energy, source energy. They kind of go after each other. That's the whole point. And then, remember, guys, they attract each other. That's the law of attraction. Whatever you got in your life force, you will attract the source through vibrations, through prayer, visualization. You guys will find each other. You'll connect. All right, cool. Well, anyways, hope you get something out of this.